Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you all. We celebrate Christmas here. We call it sometimes Christmacaw because we have a very blended family, which is a hallmark of the US of A, I believe. But it's a great time for the little kids and also for us big kids. One of the things we have to talk about here is that we have a visitor in the man cave. That's right. We have a 2019 Triumph Street Triple RS as a visitor. Probably will be here for another week or so because we're waiting for some parts to come in for it. My friend Harrison had a get off on it. He hit some gravel getting onto the freeway, put her down and slid her for a while. And we've got parts on order. We're going to get it back on the street. Looks like most of the damage is cosmetic. There's a couple of bins and things, but we'll go over the bike in a moment. But one of the things that this bike lacked, and I'm surprised the manufacturers don't do that, are bobbins or spools. Tell me, do you prefer the term bobbins or spools? These are official Triumph spools, rear axle spools, and they're to help us get the bike up in the air while we do the work. Paddock Stand Bobbins, red. So Triumph obviously prefers the red color on them. And we're going to put them on the Triumph so we can put it up on the Paddock Stand. I guess the man cave will double as a Paddock Stand for a few moments. What we're going to do is put them on. The Triumph swing arm represents a few challenges when you try to use, let's call it a generic set of bobbins. There's a little boss there at the point where they thread into the swing arm that sometimes interferes. But before we go away, we've got the box here. We're going to put them on. Before we go away, let's do the usual and get to the weather report. Ladies and gentlemen, it's cold in California. Can you believe it? Southern California, it's cold. It's about 52 degrees. I'll tell you what that is in Celsius. Let me guess. 10. I don't know. Sorry, not a metric guy. But we'll post that down below. Or is it here? I'm not sure. We'll post what that is in Celsius down below so you all know about it. And we'll get on to putting on these Triumph Paddock Stand Bobbins, spools, whatever you wish to call them here. Pretty easy thing to do, but we're going to get on it. Be right back to you. Here's what the bobbin looks like in detail, and you can see this little ridge here. It's to fit that boss that I was talking about. It's a, gosh, I hope that stays in focus. Looks like it did. It's a 6 millimeter Allen. So we're gonna put it on that way. I'll show you the swing arm in a minute. We're gonna use a little thread locker there to keep it on because that's be a bad place to lose one when you want to have it later on. So let's repair to the machine itself. So, here's the boss I was talking about that this threads into. There's a little raised edge there. Most machines that I've come across, this is a pretty large flat area, and it's therefore pretty easy to use a generic type bobbin. But this one is a little more demanding, and that's why we have this ridge around here, so it'll fit into that nicely. Okay. Let's put a little thread locker on this baby. So I'm a fan of blue thread locker. There aren't many times or locations, I think, that call for red thread locker, which is the more fast of the two. I think if I was working on engine internals, I might I might use the red a little more often. But we'll get this guy started. We are going into a threaded boss, so I'll be a little careful with that. You can repair a cross thread into a casting, but it involves a lot of pain, so we try not to do that. Okay, we'll take her down. Cinch her into place. Oops. And again, you don't have to be that tight on these, and remember, it is a cast piece that we're going into. So, there she is. I think it looks kind of handsome in that location. There are red highlights on this machine I'll show you in a moment, but I think it'll be just fine. We'll put the other one on and we'll get it on a paddock stand. So don't forget when you're raising the motorcycle to put a little 2x4 under your kickstand. That'll level out the rear end a little more to make it easier for one person to load it onto those paddock stands. Don't forget, 2x4, your best friend. Okay, here, standing beside Harrison's 2019 Street Triple RS. We're going to put it up on the stand. Remember I said, put your official block down there. Move that over here, just show you. And now we'll put it back underneath there. And, oopsie, yes. It's a very simple project. And now we're ready to put it up on the stand. So let's just do that little task. Okay, that puts the bobbin in a much friendlier location, particularly when you're going to lift the bike by yourself. If you're going to lift the bike by yourself, it can get a little bit scary when you have a big distance to go. So now we're just going to lean back on the lift, move it forward, and put her down right there. And she's now on the lift, and we can do work on this little thing to help Mr. Harrison get back on the road. Just to note, you can see part of the damage here to the exhaust, and if anybody knows a way for us to replace just this part of the exhaust, I'd really like to know about it, because to get the whole exhaust is really expensive, but just to replace that part of it would be nice. But that's a quick little runaround of the bobbin installation, and how you make it easier on yourself to get the bike back up on the jack. Now, speaking of getting the bike back on the jack, we'll move this out a little bit, pan it up, and show you that this stand that I have is really nice. It allows you to, you can roll the bike back and forth. Of course, you have to be careful. You can still push it over, but you can roll the bike back and forth a lot, and it allows you to give you some pretty good control over where you're going to place it. Now, I always keep the kickstand down just in case. So I don't trust any of those stands all that much. And I have a seam in my garage floor. It's in a really not really location. It's the following deal. And we go over that. And now we can maneuver the bike a little easier. Again, you know, it's always kind of good to have two people on this job. It does kind of make for a little bit of security. But you'll notice how easily it is to maneuver her around. And we're going to have a little more. We're going to have a little more working room around the machine now than we did. By the way, let me walk over and show to you. By the way, this stand is by a company called Constand, Constands. And I've had it for about 4 or 5 years, and I really do like the way it operates. All right, installed the bobbins, got the bike up on the stand. Harrison's going to be coming over hopefully fairly soon, although it is a busy time for us all. And we'll start doing some of the repair on the bike, and I hope to share that. I also want to share Harrison's story of how the bike was damaged, because it's very interesting and I think you can all learn a little bit from it. Okay, that's all for now. Talk to you later.